Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to UKSG Blue 2023. Casual reminder that we are here supporting our charity Crisis, a homelessness charity based in the UK. Next up, here we are, we have Guild Wars 2 with our runner Big the Dave. We can get a round of applause in the room for him. Bang on, and Dave, I believe you did have a bid war going on, my friend.
We did. What is the result of that?
I would like to confirm for you that you are in fact going to be a maid
Lovely.
for this run.
We are going for the maid costume. Great. So
I'm still waiting on our lovely chat at home to make me aware of what an Ebon Vanguard is, so I'll wait for that. But my friend, you can get yourself started whenever you're ready.
I will tell you, the timer starts when we gain full control of the character. We just need to create the character first. We're doing chapters 1 to 3. Those chapters are decided by your race, which we're choosing as human because it's fastest, and what backgrounds you choose. So we're choosing Never Search for My True Parents, and you're being a commoner. And those decide what story missions you get. There's a lot of choices in Guild Wars 2, and we do need to come up with a bit of a character name. Unfortunately, that couldn't be a donation incentive because that could easily get sniped. So, there we go. So, time begins once the loading screen ends. We need to get to level 80 as fast as possible. So, how would we do that? We use a level 80 boost. So, we need to get here, we need to get all the gear that we need. This is going to be the tedious part of the run, is just getting your character up to level 80 and getting them all geared out. Now this is all pre-prepped before we started the game. And this is one of the reasons why this is a bad idea. Is first off, you need a level 80 character. And secondly, because you cannot do this with an existing character, you have to create a brand new character every time you do a run. So actually routing this is incredibly difficult and requires a lot of a lot of preparation just to get your characters up to level 80 as fast as possible. So we use the level 80 boost there. It teleports us out to the Silver Wastes. We can then put all our gear on and start actually doing the story missions. So we need to skip all this. We need to put all our boosters on. So we're now level 80. We can now put all the gear on. Oh, this is all basically the best gear in the game. And we've chosen Engineer here because Engineer, Core Engineer, has some of the best stats, some of the best abilities in the game now that the new expansion has come out, and we'll go through quickly what the build is. So we're doing a core hammer engineer. So this is just a core engineer build. We have a hammer, and the hammer does a lot of damage. So we're now going to teleport back to the start, to the village of Shamer, and get on with the story missions. It's about this time that we then choose the outfit. It was the maid outfit, yes? Where's the maid outfit? That's the butler outfit. Where's the maid outfit? There's the maid outfit. So this is what our character's going to look like today. A nice maid outfit with a giant hammer and a jetpack. So the main thing we're going to be doing in the overworld is using the roller beetle mount. Again, there's a lot of preparation required for this. You need to unlock the roller beetle mount, which requires some of the expansion content. So one reason this is a bad idea is it's not really open to newcomers to the game. It's very much, my account is, was it 11 years old now? And over the years built up all the stuff on this account to allow me to run this at all. I believe I am the only person that regularly runs this category, in that there's no leaderboards for it, nobody else talks about it, nobody else roots it, and actually rooting this is almost impossible. So the story missions that we've got here are effectively, there's some bad guys, we gotta kill the bad guys. These are bandits. And yeah, we just absolutely melt. We're going to leave a turret here to take care of the guys downstairs. We're just going to run up here and take care of the final 2 guys here and wait for them to come up. So this is the boss, and this is his flunky. We're going to take him, and then we're going to trigger the cutscene for him.
I'll go first.
And we knock him over in the cutscene. That's always funny to do. Where are you going?
That was impressive. I could outrun a centaur. That's enough. I yield.
So we're taking down 3 of the 5 guys, and our turret down the bottom has been destroyed, which means he's still alive.
Time to do some real damage.
Where's the last guy? Is he? He's over here. This guy's supposed to be the guy that was taken down by the turret, but this is kind of random where they go. We're just going to beat them up.
I can't believe it.
So that's the end of the first mission. We now do a waypoint out here, and we go talk to Lieutenant Francis. Lieutenant Francis is probably the most incompetent person you're ever going to meet who's been put in charge of anything important. He's currently lost the medical supplies to the bandits. These appear to be the only medical supplies in the entire kingdom, because I need to go and get them back in order to get my friend back to health who got beaten up by the bandits. So we need to go and do it instead of, you know, the trained guards going off to do it. So we're just skipping all the cutscenes here. One of the reasons that we don't really do any of the expansion content, the expansion content can be repeated as much as you want, but the expansion content, the cutscenes aren't skippable. Only the personal stories cutscenes are in that sort of vignette thing that they come up in the full screen, and you can hit skip. Which means it's not really all that fun to redo the story content and expansions once you've already done it. I mean, apart from the fact it's quite fun content, but to speedrun it is not very good. And again, this is one of the guys that we killed, we captured in the last mission, and he is mysteriously back and out of jail.
When you get to the mist, tell him Twitchy Jake. Don't you know who I am?
Where is he? There he is. So we have to kill him, we have to get his bodyguards.
I'll see you soon.
And now we have to go outside. Hopefully we don't get in combat. If you get in combat, you can't waypoint out, and that is slow. So we're going back here. I'm going to talk to Lieutenant Francis. We're going to tell him we've got the supplies. And he's going to say, yep, you can go and take some of the supplies to go and patch your friend up. But we've also discovered that the guy that we captured in the first mission has been mysteriously got out of jail early. And we have to figure out why. So we're going to get we're going to meet up with Logan, who is like the main human character NPC that generally does the story. Every race has its own mentor, and Logan is our mentor. And he's going to say, "Hey, can you go and do some undercover work for us?"
Cover work is tricky.
And we're going to say yes. I'm going to listen out quickly for that, so I can come out of there and get on the mount quickly. At the end of every mission, we have to click on that, and we can do that while we're on the mount to kind of speed up our traversal. Most of the time, we don't care about when we click that accept button, mostly because the overworld travel in the early missions aren't that long. That's probably the longest one in this chapter. So now we have to take out this bandit thug and steal his clothes. So unfortunately we're not wearing the maid outfit anymore, but we will be in a minute. But we just steal his clothes, go up to the door, and they just let us in because we're wearing the bandit clothes. They don't even care that there's a guy out there unconscious. So we go in, disguised as a bandit. We go over here, do a little bit of jumping. We want to avoid these. We want to get the fuses from there.
Blaze wants those fuses.
Talk to Blaze and get some information out of him. We talk to Uptown Johnny, get some information out of him.
Make it quick.
And then we beat up
Johnny, baby.
the other one,
Man,
Deadeye. We don't even really need to talk to him all the way.
I'm
And
a dangerous woman.
we're here for information. Oh, jeez, she went straight into the stun. So we don't even need to talk to her. It just completes the mission. And now we go and grass them up. We go straight back to Logan's office, and they're not even suspected that they might have just given their plans to someone who they've never met before. And they're not prepared for it. So now we have to make a choice. We have to choose whether we're going to save the hospital or save the orphanage. And we save the orphanage because it's quicker. Mentioned Lieutenant Francis earlier. He is going to save the hospital, or rather he's not going to save the hospital because he's incompetent. So one of the reasons we don't care about when we click that accept button is because that waypoint, that teleporter is right there, and if you that entrance to the instance won't be there until we hit accept. And if we're inside the area of effect where we would accept where the pop-up would come up, when it appears, it won't appear. We have to move out of it and move back into it, and that's slow. So most of the time, this is the way things work. She's really going for the stuns early today. She doesn't normally go straight for the stuns. The one thing we do about the core engineer's hammer is that we have a dodge on 3. So again, they're going straight for the stuns today. Normally we get to just do 3 and stun them and keep them stun locked, and we don't need to care about them attacking us. So now they're all going to cheer for UKSG Blue. Everybody cheer for UKSG Blue. Now is a good time for any messages if you've got them. We're just going to sit and wait for a couple of cutscenes.
Thank you very much, Dave. We do actually have a $60 donation in here from Hollister. We can get a wee round of applause again in the room. Coming in to say, hey all, it's your friendly neighbourhood Hollister here, live from Glasgow Airport. I'm sure he's having a lovely time down there. Just wanted to thank all for watching UKSG and for supporting Crisis. Hope you all enjoy what we have lined up for day 2. And he has generously put that $60 towards the Baba Is You True Ending. Baba Is You is actually coming up tomorrow morning in about, give or take, 6 hours, I believe. You're still about $100 out for that one, chat. So if you want to see that true ending, I believe it's the alternative ending, then you'll need to get your donations in for that.
That's a good run. Get your donations in for that one.
Never should have sent Francis alone. He's a good man, but he's not.
You're too hard on yourself, Logan. And on everyone else.
So one of the things that Engineer has that other classes don't is something called super speed. We can make NPCs and ourselves run at 100% speed. Also, again, we're being disguised. We can give super speed to NPCs, which makes them run very, very fast. If we're doing a full game run, if we're doing a Chapter 8 run, normally we choose the Scrapper. The Scrapper can give permanent super speed. This is the only real point where super speed in Chapters 1 to 3 give us any bonus. So the Core Engineer is generally what I go for this. So this mission we get ambushed by a whole bunch of bad guards, and we're going to try and take them all out at once before Anise here spawns our clones, and hopefully, no. We're trying to get that fast so that the clones gank Serentine, but unfortunately they didn't. It's very hard to actually get that. I've had it when I've killed all the guards, the clones spawn and still don't attack Serentine. So that was Chapter 1. Now what we do is we just delete all the mail. We don't read the mail. If you delete the mail, it progresses your storyline. And the reason we chose, well, one of the reasons we chose the story we did is because it starts right here. We do 0 overworld travel to get to the start of Chapter 2. We generally also want to choose missions that give us kill missions. Missions where we have to take out people as fast as possible. And this chapter is full of them. And these guys are going for stuns today. What is going on? I've never had them knock me out so much. Where are we going? This side.
Shining blade is here.
So the first chapter was bandits that are attacking us. This chapter it's Shining Blade, and in the third chapter it's Zombie.
Hold fast here. These filthy dogs. I feel good.
So generally we're just taking out some bad guys. sorry, White Mantle are the bad guys, Shining Blade are the good guys. Hard to keep track of it sometimes. So we're just going to get a bunch of waves of guys here. There's like 4 waves and then some elites. And we're going to take those out as fast as we can.
Rest for the White Mantle.
Yep, these guys here. In general, what we do is we start off with Thunderclap, which is that massive AoE, and we spin into it, which gives us a combo called Brutal Bolts. And that just does extra damage. So those 2 skills on their own, if you do them out of order, they'll do overall less damage. But because we comboed the 2 up, we do stupid amounts of damage. And that's mostly where the DPS increase through the expansion. The last expansion, Secrets of the Obscure, has just come out. And what they've done is they've unlocked all the expansion weapons on core classes, which allows us to wield a hammer as a core engineer. And that has sped up this run so much in the past couple of weeks. Where are we going next? We're going out here. Just remember where my waypoints are going. So again, this is what small bit of overworld travel. We're going to prep for one of our later missions and go grab a waypoint. So the roller beetle mount is just a motorbike. It's kind of gross, but it goes fast. And that's where most of our overworld travel is going to be used. There's going to be a couple of bits where we use the flying mounts, where we use the Sky Scale and the Griffin. Again, unlocked through the expansion content and not very noob friendly. Oh, that was the wrong one. Menuing is terrible. You'll see me swapping into Grenade Kit every so often. That gives me swiftness, which makes me go faster. That's one of the perks of Engineer. Again, this is just a kill mission where we go in and we just murder everybody. We have to take out 3 floors worth of bad guys and then come back down and take out 3 floors worth of bad guys again. The other options for Chapter 2 are the What Happened to Falcon Company, and there's a lot of no, it wasn't the wrong choice, it was the right choice. The What Happened to Falcon Company is a very long, tedious set of missions where you basically follow a guy about a bit. And the other one is You've Never Joined a Circus, which is incredibly fun, but it is also incredibly slow. The first mission in that is literally just standing about for, and I'm not kidding you, standing about for 5 minutes doing nothing. So we just talked that guy down. He was holding a hostage. So this one is evidently faster. It's one of the few ones that we have actually managed to root. Before Secrets of the Obscure came out, they gave us a bunch of free level 80 characters during the beta, and that was a godsend for rooting this. Unfortunately, didn't get to do as much as I wanted with it, but we did chapters 1, 2, and 3 quite convincingly. It is entirely the human story. Everyone else is much, much slower.
It wasn't me, but I'll make sure they don't live to tell the tale. Attack!
Yeah, you've told the guys to attack. They're already dead, my friend. And again, we just take the guys out. We take out the Confessor, and it then gives you a little... You've got to go and interact with things, investigate the place. The only thing you need to do is look at the paper-covered desk. And we're done. We now have to go and take all the evidence to Logan in his office. So we're going to do a bit more overworld travel if you've got any messages coming up.
Thank you very much, Dave. We here at UKSG would like to thank BSG and ESA for their continued support of our events and lending us their amazing community and Twitch channels to help spread this amazing event, for we are helping Crisis, a UK-based homelessness charity. And just to get some more information, Dave, there's a lot of talk about how you need to have a high-level character in your account and things, but how, if somebody was interested in perhaps getting into a run like this, how would they go about that?
So there's no official leaderboard for this. This is just something that I took upon myself to do because I've played this for 11 years and was looking for something interesting and new to do. What One other category that I did try and route was the free-to-play version of this, or various free-to-play versions. So you can play the core game 1 to 80 for nothing. There are a few restrictions on the account, like trading posts and stuff like that, and who you can chat to, and grouping and things like that. But you can play this completely for free, and there is leveling runs, trying to get up to from 1 to 80 as fast as possible. For the free-to-play one, I think I've managed to get it under 5 hours without any boosters. If you have an existing account and you've not played, so say you bought the game back a decade ago and you haven't played it since. If you get back in, you'll have a bunch of birthday gifts for your characters. Those birthday gifts will include level up scrolls, which will get you up to like levels 50 and 60, which will obviously speed you up if you're trying to get up to high level. Really, the only reason that you need a brand new character is because they don't let you repeat the personal story. All the other stories, like I said, the expansion content can be repeated as much as you want. So if I go into the hero panel here while we wait and just go to story journal, I could start any of these stories right now on this character out of sequence, but the personal story, the 1 to 80 story, is limited to your first run. And you need a brand new character if you want to replay it. So again, we just absolutely murdered these guys. Where's the next lot coming from? Up there. So this is we're using one of the ranged weapons. We're using the elite kit, the mortar kit, and we're just gonna take these guys out as they come towards us, just to save us running up to them. And the final lot will spawn over here, and by that point our cooldowns are down and we can go into it. And if you have been playing this game for a long time and you've been wondering what to do with all those level up scrolls and things, it's a good time to just create new characters and try out new stuff. Try a speed run of this. It gets really quite interesting when you get to chapters 7 and 8. You get a lot of choices in this game, and just figuring out what the best route is actually really difficult. Just because you have one chance per character and you need all these different characters to do it. So we're heading on to the final mission of chapter 2. While we were talking, while we were getting that, I also picked up a waypoint that'll come in useful in chapter 3. So we're just going to go into this mission. We finally found out where our parents are buried, and we're going to go and see the graveyard. There is literally nothing to do with the previous story. The only thing that's the same is that the exemplars here that have been with us have told us where it is, and we're going to go investigate this abandoned house. If anyone has arachnophobia, sorry, there's a lot of spiders in here. So we're just going to ignore those spiders, and a big spider is going to spawn about here, behind us. We're just going to stun it, and then we're going to take out its children. Once we take out all the hatchlings, it'll spawn again. And again, we just absolutely murder it. And now we go and look at the gravestones. We can't look at the gravestones until we kill the spider for reasons. So we found our parents, we say a prayer, and that is the end of chapter 2. And now we're going on to chapter 3, which is the Orders of Teria. Now, if you've played this game before, you'll know that the Orders of Teria is one of the major decisions you have to make in the game. Which order you join determines your chapter 4, parts of your chapter 5, and parts of your chapter 6 story. So it's a big part of the game. And there are 3 orders. There's the Order of Whispers, there's the Dermond Priory, and there are the Vigil. We are going to do one mission from each of those factions for this, for chapter 3, and then at the end of it we're going to choose which one to join. For this 1 to 3, we are actually going to choose, we're going to choose the Vigil, because their end of chapter 3 mission is the fastest. Normally we would choose the Dermond Priory, because the Dermond Priory's chapter 4 and 6 missions are faster. We're going to pick up quickly a waypoint here because that will be where we go for the next mission. There we go, there it is. I thought I got that earlier. And now we're going to see our first instance of the flying mount. So the sky scale is great for getting vertical height, which is what we're going to do here. We're going to grab some vertical height. And then we're going to jump off it. We're going to get onto the Griffin. Oh, I forgot to set the Griffin as my main one. And because of that, I screwed that movement up. Lovely. So the sky scale is great for gaining height. The Griffin is great for covering distance. So we're going to do that again. We're going to get on the Griffin. We're just going to dive. And now we are going... I believe this is the fastest movement in the game. It's faster than the roller beetle. But as you saw, getting the height and getting the dive on it is a little bit finicky. So we just tend to use the roller beetle for general overworld movement because it's just faster to get started. So you see that we just skipped right over the water. We will be seeing another mount in a second, the skimmer, because we do have to cross a little bit of water. We do have to cross a bit of water that is not really flyable. So we're going to go with the priorities plan for this one. If we chose the Vigil here, we'd go to the same place, but we would have to fight a bunch of waves, and those waves come at set intervals. It is not faster depending on how fast you kill it. So we're going to go down here. We're going to do something fun with the roller beetle if it doesn't stick on that. So we can cover a little bit of distance over the water by skipping across it like a stone. We then just dump in the water and we get on the skimmer, which is fastest over water. So this mission that we've chosen, the Mortis Verge, is faster for the Dermot Priory because we don't have to do any combat at all. We just have to run. We have to run from each of the children that are in this mission and get our scholar friend here to talk to them and help them to safety. We want to avoid all the undead, so if we look here, you've got a bunch of undead in the swamp. We just want to go around the outside. We want to use this. We want to give ourselves super speed to just speed up the movement a little bit.
I'm over here. Save me.
So we're just going to save the children.
Child. This enchantment will allow you to sense the undead. Avoid them and make your way home.
Really? Thanks, mister. Help! Monsters and bad people.
So there is a couple of times I've managed to do this and get him to skip one of his lines, which makes the end cutscene go faster. It's very difficult and very finicky to get, so
all the way home.
I do try and get it by going as fast as possible, but I'm not convinced we are. So he has... He skipped the dialogue for the last one. That's what happened.
Help! Hey, over here.
So now all I have to do is make sure that we don't get into combat, because if we're in combat, we can't waypoint out. So that guy's coming after us.
Run home as fast as you can.
But we should be good here. He should run away. There we go. We are done with this mission. And we head back here once the cutscene starts. Yep, there we go. The next mission is we're going to choose the Vigil. We're going to do Triskel Key. We're going to skip the cutscene for this, but there is a very annoying line reading in this, in that they can't pronounce key properly. 2 different voice actors, 3 different instances pronounce it Quay, and it's very annoying.
There's an intelligence to their movements. We need to discover the root of the problem.
We just need to listen to this little bit of cutscene first. This is what most of the cutscenes are like in the expansion content. NPCs stand about talking to each other, they move about in the world. It's a bit more immersive than the vignettes that we get normally, but unfortunately not skippable. So we're going to choose to save Triskel Key, and the reason we do that is because we can skip it. This is the first real instance of speed tech. So the mission is there, that's the waypoint we grabbed in the last mission. It's right next to it, and it saves a bit of overworld movement.
The mine's under attack. Someone please help us.
So we're just going to ignore any of the overworld NPCs because we don't care about them, they're not part of the story. So we're going to Triskel Key. We're going to have a little cutscene that's going to show us the state of the village once we get to the Crusader here. So, little cutscene, fly through the village is on fire, guards are fighting the undead. It's like, oh no, you've got to come down here, go down the stairs, save everybody. There'll be spawns and stuff that come when you go up the stairs. There'll be bad guys spawn here, you take out those bad guys. You don't need to do any of that at all. Once this cutscene's over, we will go to the right. So we're supposed to go down there, all the villagers fleeing, and help them. We're not going to do that. The only thing we need to do is get the captain of the guard out of combat, and they are in a very good position right now. We just go in, we take out this abomination, which is the big boy, and his friend over here. And now that he's out of combat, he needs to get into position, and
Go on ahead.
On your side.
We'll hold this landing against
and that's us done with that mission.
Would this be a good time for a quick donation,
This
Dave?
would be a good time for a quick donation. Yes, we're just going
Thank
to
you,
choose
my man.
our
We
next
have a
mission.
wee $5 coming in from Huds601, who has got a wee message for you here. It's time for a spoonful of your own medicine, Dave. How does Jormag like his tea?
How does Jormag like his tea?
Ice brewed.
Whatever it was, I think the information drove
For
me
those
mad.
who don't play Guild Wars 2,
surprised
Jormag
that
is the
doesn't
Ice
happen
Dragon,
more
and
Priory
our
scholars, too.
minions are the Ice Brood.
Small correction from earlier, because Huds also is coming in to put that $5 towards the Baba Is You True ending run. However, I've been informed that it's actually for a runner to do it blindfolded. So at home, you'll definitely want to get your donations in to make sure that that happens. And I'll just take this time to also shout out a bid incentive coming up a little bit sooner for the Ghostbusters run in about 3 hours, where not only do you get to choose which of the Ghostbusters will actually be played as, but also the colour of their uniform. So anybody that knows that, you get to have your choice of character and choice of clothing. If you'd like to pick a very silly colour, please get your donations in for that there.
That sounds excellent. Go for some pink, Winston. Go on. So we just used the waypoint that we picked up in Chapter 2 for this mission. The choice in this mission was between the Order of Whispers and the Priory. The Priory one, you go off and you talk to a kind of a seer who summons a ghost, and the ghost then gets attacked by enemies, but they come in waves at set times, and that is slow. This one is going to be faster, so what we do is we drop ourselves a turret here, and we light these beacons. We then go talk to the pirates. This is another instance of us dressing up like a group of people and just walking into their camps, and they just accept us. So now what we do is the undead are going to spawn here, and they're going to get caught by our turret, and hopefully they're going to take some damage from that turret before we get to them. These NPCs, these bad guys, have a special AI to them, in that they won't gain aggro until they get to a specific point. And they are also... Do not underestimate these guys. These guys will screw you up. I go down to these quite often. So the next lot are going to spawn over here. They are going to be completely oblivious to my attacks until they get to about that until they get to the torch that we lit. So we can just stun them and attack them, and they don't get any attacks off. These guys are a little bit all over the place, so we're going to try and do as much cleave damage as possible to the guys at the front, and take this guy down. So there, he just ran to the thing, and that's when he activated his aggro. These guys are not aggroing me at all, and that's that mission done. Those waves occur based on how fast you kill the previous wave, whereas the other mission, they're just on a fixed timer. Now I need to insult the first mate, and that's just a case of menuing quickly. So I just need to insult the first mate a bit, and they're like, yeah, you're a pirate, we'll tell you your story. And then I need to remember to report back to the Agent Ian before waypointing out, otherwise I have to do that mission all over again, and yes, I have done that in the past. I nearly did it the other day when I was doing a test run. And again, we go back to the orders and report back. We've got all the information we need in the story. We know what's causing all these undead attacks. It is one of the guards has been partially zombified and is about to go full zombie and wants to turn the queen into a zombie. And now we have to go and save the queen. So we have to choose one of the 3 orders to go and choose their plan to save the queen. Normally we choose the Dermot Priory if we were continuing on with the story. We're choosing the Vigil because it's the most straightforward. Literally, they just spawn a bunch of guys and you kill them. The other ones are all slower, but they make up for it in their other missions later on. Again, we now just have to go to here. Time is going to come up in about a minute or two. So we should save some time both in this run and in the marathon, which is sorely needed, I believe. So again, we're going to just quickly talk. We're going to get a couple of cutscenes. We're going to drop a turret down here before we talk to the Queen. We're going to talk to the Queen. Bad guys are going to spawn. And then we're going to get another cutscene, and more bad guys are going to spawn. So he's invulnerable right now until he turns into a zombie. So the turret's just shooting him because it's funny. And then we got another cutscene of him turning into a zombie, and he should be vulnerable now and taking damage from my turret. The turret should gather them all up into one place like we did before. And then we just focus on the Corporal, take him out, and then take out his friends. And time will be when I click accept on here. And that's time. We are done. And that's chapters 1 to 3 of Guild Wars 2.
Thank you very much, Big the Dave. That was a very educational run for somebody who hasn't actually touched this game before. But for any new or veteran gamer of Guild Wars that would like to perhaps get into this, where could they find you to get all that lovely information?
Yes, so they can find me twitch.tv/bigthedave. I also make crappy little web games as well. You can find me on itch.io as well. And I'm also on Mastodon, gamedev.mastodon, Big the Dave there. I don't actually know how you do that for Mastodon. I don't know how you link to Mastodon stuff anymore. But I'm on there if you want to follow me and my weird little game dev experiments and my speedruns for Guild Wars 2.
And is there perhaps any shout-outs you would like to give?
Just the guys who got me into speedrunning. Huds, Argic, all those guys. Hud's given me a little taste of my medicine. Normally it's me giving them the pun treatment, which I will be sure to pay in kind when they are on later on.
We welcome all the puns here
at
UKSG.
Yes, we do. So that's it for me. Get on with the marathon.
Bye on, Dave. We get another round of applause for Big the Dave. Right, and for everybody at home, we are UKSG Blue 2023, raising money for Crisis, a UK-based homeless charity. Up next, we actually have Dissidia Final Fantasy by me, I believe. Never thought I'd get to sit here and say that. So we will go to a quick intermission. We'll be back here in a few seconds where you finally get to put a face to a name.